Well, y'all, we have a breaking situation that's happening in Washington, D.C. This is a particularly sad one to pop over right before Thanksgiving. I'm going to walk you through the entire attack, the entire targeted attack against the National Guard members when they were ambushed and now murdered in Washington, D.C. We're going to walk through the entire thing, but I want to show you very specifically the way that the left is handling this and the way that it just seems like they might know something's up, because even the mayor of DC just came out and said they were openly and actively targeted for assassination. This is kind of becoming a theme, isn't it? All right, everything I've got for you is going to be linked. My thoughts and prayers go with this family. That is, these families. This is absolutely awful. But let's get into the news. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on, guys. We have got a country to save, and every time this happens, it only strengthens our resolve. So make sure you jump in here. All right, listen, here's what just went down. The day before Thanksgiving. Now, there's going to be some right-wing accounts and some left-wing accounts I'm about to show you, but the bottom line is 2 West Virginia National Guard members have now been murdered. They succumbed to their injuries in Washington, D.C., which, by the way, before I show you some of these little snippets from these lefties, that's a gun control city. So before we get this whole game going, I just want to lay that flat on the table. Democrats told the country that President Trump is giving illegal orders to the military and that it's incumbent upon the military to rebel or they're betraying the country and the Constitution. They say Trump is using the military as his personal Gestapo. 2 troops were shot today right outside the White House. This should send shivers down the spine of every American. Yes, it should. And you know why it should before we continue? Because every single time someone is murdered, usually, and I'm going to be really generous at this point because I do not want to spread things that I don't know 100%. When something looks like it's a little bit of a radicalized move of the left through all of the insane rhetoric from a 10-year brainwashing operation that we've had, when it looks like that, I'm getting kind of tired of the excuse being, yeah, but Donald Trump is so mean. Look at the threat he's creating, as they are literally killing people. Charlie Kirk, that's a good one we just covered. These 2, at what point does it just become maybe we have a problem? Okay, let's keep on going. They can't stop because they don't have anything to stand on because everything about them sucks. All right, let's keep on going. Guys, this gets me so sad and so angry for the state of our country, for these families, and just watching what the left is doing right now about this. Just they're making excuses for overt targeted ambush murder of our National Guardsmen the day before Thanksgiving. You don't believe me? Watch this.
But of course, you know, there's so much controversy happening in the United States right now with ICE, who are also wearing uniforms and wearing masks. And so there's, you don't know, people walking around with uniforms in an American city. There are some Americans that might object to that. And so apparently this shooting has happened.
Wow, he literally just laid the fact that 2 innocent people who were there doing their job, serving their country in Washington, D.C. as active National Guardsmen from West Virginia, it's their fault they died, and it's Trump's fault they died, because there are some people in the country who don't take kindly to uniformed soldiers on our streets. So you're just going to kill them? You're just going to shoot them, ambush style around a corner? Oh, I'm not making this up. That's coming next. Y'all, the second that I can confirm the motive on this, I will unleash holy hellfire on it. I'm going to reserve it a little bit because that is a responsibility that I have. I'm just going to keep on going. Let's let Muriel Bowser, the mayor of D.C., say what happened. Okay, again, make sure you tune into the live show tonight because I'll have you all the updates as it comes between here and there. It's 9 p.m. Eastern time. Well, watch. This is a Democrat mayor in a gun control city in Washington, D.C. Watch this.
How are they behaving with National Guard here in D.C.?
What we know, Andrea, is that this is a targeted shooting. One individual who appeared to target these guardsmen, that individual has been taken into custody.
The mayor of D.C. just said it was a targeted attack targeting the National Guardsmen. I wonder what could have been the impetus for that. What kind of rhetoric and brainwashing could have been happening over the last decade? I don't know, like existential crisis, fascism, oligarchs, Nazism, save our democracy. military, you have to stand up to illegal orders. I don't know, like the insanity rhetoric because they keep on dialing up to 11 because their constituency doesn't have anything to rally on around except hatred. Okay, let's keep going. Maybe the DC police chief says something different. Again, this is him right next to Kash Patel. Y'all, I'm about to start.
Alton Police Department. At approximately 2:15 this afternoon, members of the DC National Guard were on high visibility patrols in the area of 17th and I Street Northwest when a suspect came around the corner, raised his arm with a firearm and discharged it at the National Guard members. The National Guard members, there were other members that were in the area. They were able to, after some back and forth, able to subdue the individual and bring him into custody. Within moments, members of law enforcement in the area were also able to assist and bring that individual into custody. At this time, as the director mentioned, the National Guard members are being treated at a local hospital. DC Fire and EMS responded to the scene to provide first aid for those individuals and transport them to a local hospital.
All right, you get the idea. Now, I don't want to be the one to tell you, but these guys didn't make it. Or women. These individuals didn't make it. They're not going home to their families because they were targeted because they were wearing their uniforms in the nation's capital. In a gun control state, a psychopath walked up, ambushed them around the corner, and then shot both of them. Please continue to tell me how everyone's equally bad in this. Because so far we've had ICE agents hit with a sniper attack. We've had an entire facility hit. We've had Charlie Kirk assassinated. We've had people run into ICE vehicles with their own vehicles, brandishing firearms. Now we have two uniformed National Guard members who were just assassinated on the street. You've had two attempted assassinations of President Donald Trump with a third one potentially there. How many more things do we have to go? Maybe you stop being psychopaths? I don't know. Maybe I'm just making it up. Now, President Trump has sent 500 more troops into D.C. because that's obviously what you do. You obviously have a problem. And then lefties like this, and y'all just wait till my live stream because right now I'm being pretty chill. I can't guarantee you that's going to happen on the live stream tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern time. This is a well-known leftist account, still in emotional distress and turmoil that they got their butts handed to them in the national election. Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth are culpable for endangering the National Guard by putting them in harm's way. You know, this is I'm just going to leave it on screen. This is that lefty logic. This is that far left, anything in any way to shape something towards the narrative of Donald Trump is evil is so incredibly pathetic and small PP energy. Because you're telling me that Donald Trump puts National Guards in a city, the crime rate plummets because you actually have people enforcing laws. Then you consistently tune up the rhetoric about how evil and how much Gestapo is out there, Trump's Gestapo with ICE agents. You have these guys wearing full-on uniforms, wearing the words National Guard across their chest, and they're targeted for assassination. What do you bet this is not going to be any different than what you think it's going to be? Again, I'm reserving judgment until I 100% know. But you just heard it was a targeted assassination attempt against National Guardsmen, our troops. Now, two families in West Virginia aren't going to have their family members because of this. In a gun control city, by the way. So before the gun controllers stop their normal bullshit, that is one of the most ardent gun control cities in the entire United States. So read between the lines. Don't open that door. I will slam it shut so freaking hard it will hurt. And that'll be on the internet. All right, here we go. The two National Guard soldiers shot near the White House have succumbed to their injuries, per the West Virginia governor. I'm frazzled. This should enrage every single freaking American. Yeah, it really should. And here's the Fox News report announcing his words and their death. Okay, this is...
We have a very unfortunate update now from the governor of West Virginia, just in the last couple of moments here. He is confirming that both of the National Guard members that were shot today have passed away, have succumbed to their injuries. And I'm going to read this updated post now from the West Virginia governor here. It is with great sorrow that we can confirm both members of the West Virginia National Guard who were shot earlier today in Washington, D.C. have passed away from their injuries. These brave West Virginians lost their lives in the service of their country. We are in ongoing contact with federal officials as the investigation continues. Our entire state grieves with their families, their loved ones, and the Guard community. West Virginia will never forget their service or their sacrifice, and we will demand full accountability for this horrific act. We have 2 families in West Virginia that will not see their children come home ever again.
All right, you get the idea. Y'all, if this doesn't shake you to the core, I don't know what does. I'm going to do a lot more videos in this area, this concept, this vein, because quite simply, we have a violent leftist problem in a lot of different examples, not necessarily this one yet. The second that I know, you'll know, because I'm not going to blast unless I have 100% confirmation. You have Luigi Mangione, who is literally the guy who killed a CEO because of class warfare and healthcare, and he's a hero to the left. You have President Trump, who was shot at twice. Well, technically, there's 2 assassination attempts on him with a third one possible. Then you had the ICE agents assaulted by a sniper on the roof, killed 3 undocumented immigrants. Then you had Charlie Kirk assassinated, and now you have 2 National Guardsmen killed. I can't imagine what the threat is there. Don't worry. I'll have it all for you the second I know more on this, but stay tuned. All right, listen, guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. I will see you tonight at the 9 p.m. Eastern show, and this, God, I'll see you then.